Hi, I'm Nikki Woods, and I am host of Move, a podcast magazine for women. And this week is packed with entertainment news with our very own Deja Perez, fitness motivation with Tamika Harden, conversations on travel, food, and wellness with Ambassador Shabazz, and our woman to follow is American novelist Bernice McFadden. We hope you will join us this week and every week for a podcast inspired by and dedicated to women. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts as well as download on Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast subscriptions.
Black woman, beautiful, powerful, resilient female of African descent with skin kissed by the sun. Conversation, a talk, especially an informal one between two or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged. We love being Black women. Black women are ambitious. Black women are confident. Black women are diligent. We are tenacious. We walk out of our houses put together. We are many shades and personalities of fabulous. But we as Black women don't talk about our dilemmas, current events, and what's going on every day that affects us. So we created this podcast as a way to laugh together, cry together, and have an open conversation about life as Black women.
Oh, that's deep. Black Women Conversations.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Janine.
How's your week been?
It's been fantastic. We did the vision board party and it was amazing. I had a really good time. And we went up to Lake Austin this week and vacationed a little bit. It's been amazing to wake up to the mountains and the lake. And I mean, it's a beautiful view here.
Well, at least you got to vacate.
Yeah, I got to look at something other than the walls of my own home. But even being here, my mom was like, we could have done this at home. I'm like, you're right. We're going to save some money. But we wouldn't have gotten this amazing view, amazing view that we have. We would not have gotten. So
yeah, you have to appreciate the little things, you know?
It's the little things that count. So what you been doing this week?
Well, good news is my dad is actually home from the hospital. So let me tell you something. My father is a veteran, and I just would like to point out that VA hospitals need a tremendous amount of work. And while the people at this particular VA hospital did better after I showed my tail, I just would like us to just be mindful of how terribly we treat our veterans, right? And this just was an instance over a phone. My father was in the hospital and they told me there's no phone available for me to contact him. That's crazy to me.
I was telling my husband about that. I'm like, I feel like if you are a veteran, once you get out, you should have a job lined up and a house lined up. And the fact that people are getting out and they can't get adequate health care and they can't get adequate employment is a problem. Like, you should not be risking your life to come back to, oh, now I don't know how I'm going to support my family. What? Like, how is that even a thing? I don't understand. Like, you can go risk your life for people's freedom, but then you get back, you don't have gainful employment. I just don't understand that at all.
Me either. I think we just as a whole need to treat our veterans better. We need to treat them better. We need to treat them like they're the heroes that we proclaim them to be. But let's talk about our vision board party really quick. So we had a vision board party and it was super awesome. Thank you to everyone who came out to our first real live, pseudo live virtual event.
It was virtually live, and these women are amazing and doing amazing things. And I don't know, just listening to them, I was inspired. I mean, I had done my vision board before the party. And just listening to them, I was like, yep, I have to achieve everything I put on my vision board, because they were so uplifting, so, motivating to help one another achieve their goals. And the thing that I also liked is that when someone got stuck, like, oh, I can't think of my word for 2021, or, oh, I want to achieve more, but I don't really know how to get there. Everybody sort of came together to help that person focus on their vision or their portion that they were stuck on, which I thought was phenomenal.
I agree. It was literally like, if I could have hoped for the event to have gone anyway, I could have never imagined that it would have gone that well, because people literally rallied around each other. Like you said, it was like a little community that we built. And
we were able to give back to the community. We were able to give back to the Black Women's Health Imperative. So that was a good thing. I think we need to do more events that are for causes. I think I like this. I like building the community we have.
By the end, it was like we were all friends, right? And it was just amazing. Everyone was there to learn and grow and be motivated by one another. And, no one was trying to take the spotlight and no one was trying to like tear one another down. It was just really good Black woman camaraderie and support and Black woman magic. I just loved it.
I loved it too. So, Janine, what's on your timeline this week?
Recently, Bumble, the dating app, had a booming IPO. And basically, after it went for its initial public offering, that afternoon, their shares were up 75%. So for those who don't know what Bumble is an app. It's a dating app that was founded by a woman for women specifically. And it was founded by one of the co-founders of Tinder. And after she left Tinder, 3 months later, she started Bumble. And the premise of the app is that basically it facilitates communication between users, kind of, like Tinder with a swipe. But in heterosexual relationships, the female is allowed to make the first move. So, in same-sex relationships, anyone can shoot their shot. But in heterosexual relationships, women are the only ones who can make the first move. While their Wall Street debut was super impressive, one of the things that stood out to me was their standards. They have a zero tolerance policy on things like obscenity, pornography, or things that could be perceived pornographic, violent behavior. You can't do anything that promotes any illegal activity, and they're big on not impersonating others. So they're one of the few apps, surprisingly, that has a zero tolerance policy for catfishing. Prior to this IPO, they had a change in their terms and conditions to change their tolerance for people demeaning or making any derogatory comments based on people's appearance, their size, their health, or their body shape. And the reason why they did this is because they did a survey of their users, and they said that about 62% of their users said that they received unsolicited comments about their appearance, both on and offline. So they made the necessary change. And in their statement, they said that body shaming is not acceptable on or off of Bumble. And they go on to explain exactly what body shaming is for those who might act like, hey, we don't know exactly what that is, so that it is very clear. To me, this is a huge step, because one of the things that we know is that these kinds of apps basically thrive off of what people look like. I think that this is a big step for Bumble, and I think that other dating apps should follow suit. I looked at a couple of studies. Basically, they were saying that people who online date, they go through psychological distress, and the distress comes from trying to make themselves appear as what the standard of beauty is, even though oftentimes people have a wide variety of what it is that they're interested in. One of the things, there was a list of like a number of things that people go through when they're online dating. But one of the things that specifically kept coming up and that people kept pointing out was this concept of stashing. Stashing is this concept that essentially people go online, seek out what it is that they're interested in, but what they're attracted to is not the standard of beauty. They form a relationship with this person because that's what they're attracted to. But because it's not the standard of beauty, they don't ever publicly display this relationship. Basically, they stash the person away, but they don't want other people to see who the person is because it doesn't necessarily meet society's standard of beauty.
I ain't got time for that. What did Fantasia say? You don't want me to don't talk to me. Like, get out of my inbox. Like, if you have to stash me away, like, just don't talk to me. Like, I don't understand why that's even a thing. I don't understand why that's a thing at all. Like, why do that? Like, if you're not attracted to that person, then move on to the next person. Like, you don't have to be attracted to everybody. But if you are like, how would you even form a connection with that person if you're like, oh, I'm not attracted to them? Then why go and even form a connection? I don't understand that. Why?
Well, I think the concept is kind of like, and I've seen multiple instances of this, right? So like some people, it was based on race, but the most common instance that I saw in these articles and studies was basically people who are attracted to people who are larger. And because the larger body frame does not fit society's standard of beauty, they keep these relationships secret.
Well, I think that those people that are doing the stashing are the people that have the problems. Because if you're so insecure that you know what you want and you know what you're attracted to, but you feel like you're going to be judged for what you like or what you're attracted to, then you got some insecurities in yourself. Like, let's start there. Like, if you know you're that person that's stashing people away that you know you want a life with, but you don't want anybody to know about it, go seek counseling because you have the problem. They don't have the problem. It's you that has the problem. Because anybody that's so insecure that they can't just say what they want to say and do what they want to do, they need some counseling through that.
Oh, I agree 100%. But it's a thing. There are men who don't like a woman who is an hourglass shape or one who is, you know, straight up and down or whatever it may be. That's the standard of beauty and health in my giant air quotes that you all can't see. For whatever reason, they feel like society is going to shame them. They want to have the companionship and the relationship, but they don't want to have the ridicule of society. So yes, I agree, Nicole. I feel like they should seek counseling too, but it's a real thing.
You're right. And it does come in the form of, I do think that it does happen. I think it's a problem when it happens, but it does happen. I think that I know a lot of women because of Caucasian men that are trying to date them. That happens because of race. It happens. And it can also happen because, you know, oh, this woman is taller than me and I don't want to date somebody that's taller than me, but I have a connection with that person, or, oh, you're short. Like a guy told me I was too short for him. I'm like, okay, well, then why you been calling me for the last 6 months? You know, stuff like that does happen, with people that are all shapes, colors, and sizes. I understand that, but it's sad though. Like it's like you don't have to be attracted to everybody. But if you're trying to keep up this status quo and you want somebody that has blonde hair and blue eyes, you have no connection with them, or you're not really that attracted to them, then you're going to be miserable in the long run because you let the person that you had the connection with get away. But I digress because we have a special guest that's going to help us break all of this down. And her name is Asia Smith. Miss Asia Smith is a 30-something single. She works in higher education and is finishing her doctorate. Asia is a body positive person and considers herself to be a plus size dater. She is also a member of my illustrious sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Asia, welcome to the podcast, girl.
Yes, finally.
Hey, Asia. I know that you've been listening to us chatter. So stashing, is this something that you've heard of before prior to now?
Yes, it's happened to me.
Really?
It has happened to me. And I was trying to think about all of the times that I've been stashed. And I was like, oh my God, that it has a name. It's kind of like when ghosting had a name, right? Like you were like, now we can label it. But I think the first time that I was stashed was in college.
Okay, so how does it happen? Like, when do you realize that you've been stashed?
After the fact.
Okay, so how does it happen?
So, in this particular case, I was a freshman and I had met an alumni out at a party, and he was a member of a fraternity. And once we met, right? So we exchanged numbers. He came up frequently from the city that he lived in. And it probably wasn't until a few years after college that I realized that he had a type. And it was because he liked thicker women who were brown skinned, who were, I would say, natural beauties. And so when he would come up, he would most likely stay with me on campus, right? Like, and I would realize it would be like, we would get ready. We were going to the same party, and he would say, okay, I'll meet you there. Right. Like he always had to like do something beforehand and to the point where we didn't arrive anywhere together.
But you didn't realize that while you were going through it.
Had no idea. And then this particular person, and he was well accomplished. He works in IT, was well put together, articulate, like good looking. And but he would always comment on my weight. He would say, "Oh, like, are you dieting? Are you going to the gym? Are you right?" Like, so like it would be a question, but it was a question, but it was a statement. Like, so are you going to start working out? And I would just, I was young at the time. I was very young and naive. This is probably the catalyst into my body positivity journey. And because I remember at some point in time being like, I just had pneumonia for 2 weeks. I'm looking good. Like, this is good right here. It probably went on for like 2 years. Fast forward, I'm working at my first professional job, and there's a woman there who also went to school at the same time he went to school. And we came to understand that we both had spent time with this person. And she was like, now, mind you, she's married. She has kids at this point. And she's like, "Oh, you do fit his type." And she tells me that. And she said, "Yeah." She goes, "Did he ever comment on your weight?" And I was like, "Well, yes, he did." Like, we just had a moment. She was like, "Yeah, he has a problem. He would always comment on my weight." And mind you, she was thinner than I was. So I was, and it just dawned on me. So, fun fact, the world is small. And I have a really good friend who now lives in Texas. And we were talking about people in the area in which he lives, because he just moved from that area. And they know each other because they're in the same fraternity. And he said, "I am so surprised at the woman he married, because if I do look at her, yeah, she looks like you. She's a thicker girl. She's kind of like a natural beauty, not overdone, not over made up." But he had a type, and he finally got married. I'm talking about, this is 15, 16 years later, finally got married.
So it sounds like, listening to you were his type, you fit the type, and he married somebody that also fit his type. Did you ever see him, because you mentioned that he commented on your weight. He asked you if you were working out. The other girl, our colleague that you knew that also dated him, that's now married, she said he did the same thing. Did you ever see him with like thinner women or women that were somewhat stereotypical, or was he always with women that were of your same standard?
I've never seen him with a woman in public.
Got you. At all?
At all.
Okay.
So he's even at the time that there was no registering for me that he was either dating someone else or maybe publicly presenting a thinner version of his significant other and then would spend time with me privately. It wasn't that type of situation. It was just that you didn't see him with anyone, and then he would be calling me and wanting to date me. And then the thing about it is, so we would go on dates, but it wasn't like to heavily populated areas. It would be like, okay, well, we're going to this restaurant kind of at the edge of town that no one ever goes to and sits down unless you're like an adult, right? Like, so the college kids aren't there. So it would be no one in the restaurant that we would know.
But he is an alum, though. He's not a college student.
Right.
How much older was he than you?
5 or 6 years.
Okay. So to me, it makes somewhat sense that he wouldn't be going to a place that had a whole bunch of college students if he were like 6 years older, like 6 years removed from college.
Yeah, but I feel like he was stashing of another kind. He wasn't trying to present a smaller person, at least to your knowledge. He just wasn't trying to present like he was with anybody.
He's trying to present single.
Right. Does that seem fair?
Available? Yeah.
Yes.
These people out here doing it. Like,
things
why?
make you go,
Really?
Right.
Because in my mind, it's like, what's the point? But then as you go into the story and you talk about how his fraternity brother, it was his frat brother, right? How his frat brother was like, I'm surprised. It's like, Like what was he presenting, right? Like what was it exactly that he was trying to do? Because you ended up with the same thing. You ended up with what it seems like you like, right?
Right. That's why it's confusing to me, the whole concept of stashing. And he ended up with what he was attracted to.
Thicker women are in style. There is love to be had at any size.
I love that.
I like it too. And I think that it goes perfectly as we talk through these scenarios. So for this portion of the podcast, Asia, we review the stories that our listeners have sent to us, or our followers can email us to ask us for advice about a related topic. And so we pulled those emails that are related to this topic. And so Janine and I will basically break down the scenarios and give them feedback. And we want you to help us with the advice as well.
I'm game.
Okay. The first scenario reads, Nicole and Janine, I hope that you read this letter so that I truly have some advice. I've been dating this guy now for 2 years, but we've never really gone anywhere in public. We met at work. He's a doctor in his last year of residency, and I'm a nurse. I've never met his parents, but I've spoken with his mom on the phone. I see him about 3 to 4 times a week. I love being with him. When I'm around him, we laugh, we watch movies, and we just have plain old fun. He tells me that I'm beautiful. However, when we're at work, he acts like he doesn't know me. He says it's because he doesn't want anyone to know at the hospital. But why? I'm a plus size girl, so I can't help but think he's embarrassed because of my size, despite him saying he likes all of this. After the first 6 months of dating, we went on vacation, skiing in Colorado. And then a year later, we went to Jamaica with another couple, one of his college buddies and his wife. But we hardly ever go out to eat or do anything locally. I feel like a little secret. I'm thinking of ending the relationship because I've never had to be so secretive while at work. Am I being paranoid, or do I have a point?
Okay. I'm going to take this from a point of personal experience, right? So I understand why this man does not want it to be a thing while you're at work. The first thing that people are going to say, specifically from a female perspective, this is how I would feel. If it were me, I wouldn't want my business out at work. And the reason why is because the first thing that people are going to say is that the reason why you're getting any sort of promotion, favorable attention, something that anybody wants, they're going to say it's because you are sleeping with said man. And do you really want that associated with your work and your relationship? Like, I'm with him. Keep your relationship and your job separate from one another. Just because you all work together does not mean that your coworkers need to be privy to your relationship with this man. I think that you're being ridiculous. Like, you said that you've spoken to his mother. You said that you all go out. You said that, like, what is it that you're looking for? I'm confused. Like, do you want to invite all of these people and all of these unsolicited opinions and unnecessary comments into your relationship? I'm confused. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't think that that's something that you need to create. Like, there's in my mind, all it's going to do is bring drama. And why invite that kind of drama into your relationship? The relationship seems to be going fine. You said that it seems that you're happy. What is this desire to have the people at your job know about your relationship? I don't understand that. I don't.
I agree with you 100%, Janine, about work, right? But she's not happy. And she has to come to the realization that something about the function of their relationship is making her unhappy, because she's not satisfied with the trips that they've taken together. She wants to go out more. Maybe it's a dinner once a month. I don't know. But something about that relationship is not making her happy. And she needs to come to terms with it. What she needs to do is she needs to have a conversation with him. Because I completely agree with you. You got to be Jay-Z and Beyonce keeping people out your business until there's a fight in the elevator. But we won't talk about that. But I'm serious. In terms of work, I agree with you. There should be no mention of the relationship at work. But there's something lacking for her in this relationship. And I think if I had to say, I think it's linked to her insecurity about being a bigger woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. And it's not many times, if you listen to the podcast, that all three people will completely agree. But sis, let me tell you how residency works, because I think that people think that, oh, you going to work and I'm a nurse, so I work, my 3 12s and I'm off the rest of the week, or I'm working my 4 8-hour shifts, so I'm good. Like, you don't have time to pee sometimes on a residency shift. Like, you are literally working, by guidelines, you can't work over 80 hours a week. Let that sink in, right? 80 hours a week. Like, most people full-time work 40 hours a week. If you're a nurse, you're working 40 hours. If you're working 3 12s, you're working 36 hours. He is working 80 hours a week. And that doesn't mean just 80 hours. Because when I was in residency, oh yeah, we had to say we working 80 hours a week. We had to literally say we're off the clock, but we had to still stay up there, finish notes. So when you added all that time up, it really added up to basically 110 hours that I was physically at the hospital. And then I had to go home and read. I had to wake up early and study. I had to make sure I knew about all my patients. Like, residency is really not the time to say, I need you to spend more time with me. Like, the fact that he's seeing you 3 or 4 times a week is amazing. Like, I just remember those are the worst years of my life. I felt like a Hebrew slave in residency. And if you talk to other residents, they will let you know that. You don't know that because you've never been to residency. But the fact that this man is seeing you that often, obviously he wants to spend time with you. And then let's also remember, sis, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You've only been with this man for 2 years. Of course, he doesn't want to go out with you in public. I don't want to go anywhere. Why? Because if you're in anything in a hospital, you are coming home and you are taking off your clothes. You don't have any off time as a resident. You are always on. You are always on call. And when you have to think about the people that you're treating in the unit with COVID, of course, for the past year, I don't expect for you to have gone off. So yeah, you have some insecurities because this man is already seeing you frequently. He's taking you on trips with his college buddies, so he's not embarrassed about you. Ain't nobody gonna take you with his college buddies and his college buddy's wife. So obviously he's serious about you. So you have some insecurities that you need to work on yourself. If you don't like how big you are, then you fix it. But he obviously doesn't have a problem with the size that you are because he keeps telling you how beautiful you are. And he's spending his money on you. Girl, bye. You need to work on your self-esteem and you need to stop sabotaging yourself and your relationship, because you're going to get out of this relationship and then move on to the next relationship. And if they're treating you the same way he's treating you, then you're going to assume that it must be because of your size, when you're not even looking at the fact that there's a pandemic out here. You've talked to the man's mama already, and you've been taking on trips, and you've met his friends. Girl.
People who are ashamed of people don't meet their friends.
Right. At all. Or talk to
you don't meet
mama.
nobody.
Right.
And even if you meet my friends, you're sure not about to talk to my mama.
Right. That part.
That part.
Okay, so here's another one. It's kind of similar, but here we go. So this one says, "Hi, ladies. I hope that you enjoyed Valentine's Day. I did too, but things seem a little strange, so I'm writing you. My boyfriend and I met online on a plus-size dating site in 2019. We made it official in April of 2020. Things have been going well. He is really caring and he loves me just the way that I am. We do not live together, but we spend a lot of time together and we really enjoy each other's company. However, the problem that I have is we never go out. I understand that there is a pandemic, but we literally have never been out on a date. I made plans for Valentine's Day and he asked me to cancel them because he would prefer to have a romantic dinner in. We have the most fabulous evenings, but I can't help but think that he never wants to go out. Before you ask, I did a background check on him and he's legit. He doesn't have another family, nor is he a criminal. I just can't figure out why we never go out in public together. It is the strangest thing to me. I mean, he posts me on social media, so it's not like he's embarrassed about me. Please help me make sense of this. Charisse."
Oh, Charisse. So this is a similar thing, but I think this is a little bit different because she hasn't gone anywhere. He's not spending any money on her. So what I would be wondering is, one, where does this person work? Do they have a job? Number two, if you are always spending romantic evenings is it always at your house or is it with him sometimes at his house? Who is paying for these in-house rendezvous? Are you buying all the food and you treating him all the time? Or are you going to his house and he's treating you sometime? Because to me, this sounds like a broke man. It sounds like a man that don't want to spend any money. And that in itself is a problem, right? You can't come over here and be up under me and you don't want to spoil me and buy me things and take me out and treat me like, that can't happen. So I'm wondering if he's always at your house and you're always providing the food and entertainment. Is it that he's broke, sis, and maybe he doesn't have any money? And I say that because if he's posting you on social media, and let's say, how is he posting you on social media? Is he tagging you and posting pictures of you on social media? Or is he just posting pictures of your face? Is he posting pictures of your whole body? Like, how is he displaying you on social media? And are you tagged? Because those to me are very, very different, especially if you haven't met anybody else. And is his social media page real? Like, how many friends does he actually have on his social media page? Like, those are the questions that I have in the back of my head, because either he doesn't want to take you out and he's posting you just so you can see that, oh yeah, I'm posting you, so it's not that I'm ashamed of you. Or is it that is he broke? I mean, he sounds like a broke man to me. I mean, what do y'all think?
He sounds broke.
Yeah.
It sounds about money more so than it is about hiding you. And that's just because he wants to spend all the time in the house. But that sounds like y'all are not compatible.
Right, because you're going out, you're outgoing, and you want to do things outside the house, and he doesn't. And the fact that you had already taken your time and made reservations somewhere, and he's like, oh no, she gonna want me to take this check, so let's cancel and stay somewhere inside. Now, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe is that the pandemic is here and he doesn't really want to go out, then I can get that. If he's posting you and tagging you on the pictures, and he's spending time with you and he is buying the food and, paying for the entertainment when you guys stay in, then maybe it's just the pandemic and you should give it some time. But if you're paying for everything, sis, and he's coming over your house and you're not going over there ever, and he's posting pictures of you with your face and he's not tagging you, then maybe it's that he doesn't want to be seen with you in public.
My question is the same as yours, Nicole. Where is he posting you? What is he posting? If he's posting pictures of you from the neck up, then I would say that he has an issue with your weight, even though you say that you met him on a plus size dating site, right? So There is a such thing as a chubby chaser, right? But that does not necessarily mean that that's what they want everybody to see. Some men are just attracted to larger women. But that doesn't mean that that's what they want their friends to see them with, right? So that's my first question. If he's posting you from the neck up, like Nicole said, then yeah, maybe he is stashing you, right? But I agree that he sounds broke, but more than that, I'd like to point something out. So back in the day, and I hate saying that because it makes us sound like we're old, but back in the day, do you remember when, Asia, don't shake your head saying we're old, but back in the day, do you remember when men used to have what we call a hoe phone, where it literally was the phone? It was a burner, like they were drug dealers, but it was really the phone for the women that they was talking to on the side. Well, nowadays, people have the same thing for social media. So girl, don't get tricked, because I know a number of men who are still single, by the way, so they can do what they please, who have a hoe account, which is literally just to satisfy whoever it is that they're seeing at the time, satisfy their needs to be posted on social media. So it doesn't have anything to do with them being proud of you. It's just to satisfy you so that you can say, oh, he posted me on social media, and show it to your friends. But who is he posting it to? Nobody that he knows. Ain't nobody following that page. So here's the thing. If you go on his Facebook page and it says, he's posting you on his Facebook page and it says, oh, his mother is this person and his friend is this person, and he's saying that he's in a relationship with you, then girl, you're right. I don't know what he's out here doing. Maybe he is broke. But if he's not, if he's posting you on IG and he got like 10 followers, Girl, that ain't no accomplishment. What?
Right.
Why do you care? Who is he broadcasting that to? His 10 followers who are people's pets pages? Quit it, girl.
Yeah, I would go and see how many followers does he actually have. Does it look, and who's liking the pictures that he's posting? Because if you're single and you post a picture with you with somebody, people gonna be like, "Ooh, who is that?" They're going to like it. They're going to be like, oh, it's about time he settled down. You're going to have some comments under that photo. So I would say, who's liking it? You got 2-3 likes? That's a fake page.
All of this is too much. And if you got to think this hard about it, you need to move forward. Because
that part.
If you have to do research into seeing whether or not this is a dummy account, how many people liked it, this is too much energy. You could start a whole LLC with all of this energy.
That's true. Say that again.
This is true.
I can't do it. And maybe this is probably why, Janine talked about having a dummy phone, and I started thinking about Bill Bellamy's How to Be a Player, right? That movie is still classic.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's back in the day, but I'll date myself. It's still one of my favorites. If it comes on TV, I'm watching it because there was so much game in that movie.
Absolutely.
There was so much game in that movie. The lengths that somebody would go to date multiple women is just, it astounded me. I was perplexed. So I am never a woman that's going to look through a phone, that's going to check the likes on social media. This woman commented on all your photos, or she liked all your photos, and then I got to go hunt her down. That's too much. And if you got to do all that, you need to step back and think about whether or not it is worth it. Because to me, it's borderline insanity. If you got to do all of that, then that's not the man for you. And I will tell you, people who are good, they are good cheaters. They are good liars. They're going to be good at it.
You're right. When you go through all of those lengths to be with someone, you will go through all of those lengths to cover up whatever mess it is that you're doing behind the scenes. I agree 100%.
Be direct. The direct approach is always the best approach. Literally, I would ask him, hey,
are you broke?
We never go out, right? Do you have a problem with money? Is there a reason that you don't want to go out? Do you have a problem with money? I would ask him. You've been with him now for some time now. You can ask him.
But Nicole, here's my question though. How many men do you know that are really going to admit that they're having a problem with money? That's number one.
If I've been with them for how long have they been together? Did it say how long they've been together?
Since 2019. They made it official in April of 2020. So almost a year.
So almost a year, but you've been with this man for 2 years. Yes, you should be able to talk candidly about money if you've been with somebody for 2 years. You can say, man, babe, I ain't got it. You can say that. Like, if you feel like, oh, he wouldn't volunteer it, I would literally ask him. I would say, babe, we've been together for 2 years now. We've never gone out. Like, what's up? Like, you have a problem with money? Like, I don't really care about that. Literally, I would lay it on thick and I would ask, like, do you have a problem with money? Because we never go out.
This could be a situation where somebody who does have a problem with money, they are excited about COVID because they got to stay in the house for a year.
Right, which is why you got to ask. Because outside will open back up eventually. So I'm like, are you saving your money for when outside opens back up? But I would ask. I wouldn't go digging and skating around and trying to figure out all this stuff. I mean, these are questions that you should be answering in your head. But realistically, after you've done stuff, after you've thought about it, if you have questions, I would ask.
This is not about money.
I feel like, though, here's the thing, though. Knowledge equals action, right? And I'm not about to ask you, are you having problems with money? Because I'm not about to fix your money problems.
But you can ask, you can say, hey, I've noticed that we have not gone anywhere since we've met.
Yes, I would say that.
During the pandemic, is there a reason that you don't want to go out? Like, I made these plans. I was excited. Like, why do you want to cancel?
There are free COVID-friendly activities. We could go on a picnic that we pack the food from our house and go and take our own bottle of wine. There are, and if money is not an issue, there are things that you can do in your backyard that you could invite other people to. You could set up a movie screen and have an outdoor movie. You could have a fire pit night with these other couples. I can design 10 dates right now without thinking about it. It does not take money to show somebody that you care about them. It takes effort.
That's true.
No, I totally agree with that, but I am not one to make assumptions. Like, I feel like making assumptions can make an ass out of you. And so before you go jump into conclusion, you at least got to have the conversation and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
I agree. I think that you should have the conversation, but I just don't feel like this is about money. I feel like, yeah, he might be a little financially shaky. I feel like it's possible, but I feel like I don't see anything in here that makes me think that it's about money, right? She was very specific that they met on a plus size dating app and that she did a background check on him. Like, if he's not a criminal, he doesn't have another family, I'm sure she kind of knows. Like, if you're going that deep into his record, you probably know what he does for a living too, right? Like, if you're going to background check, I don't know. But sis, here's my thing. If you don't feel comfortable and this is making you have some sort of anxiety or problems with this relationship, then maybe this ain't the relationship for you. And if he's not willing to let you meet his friends and family, then maybe he's not as proud of you as you think that he is because he's posting you all over social media. I'm just saying. And can we just...
Because you can do a virtual meetup. You can do a virtual family meetup.
Right. And can we say this? Can we stop? I just want us to do this. Can we just all touch and agree on this for a second? Can we stop making social media the barometer for anything and everything?
That part.
Because because it's on social media does not mean it's real. We as a culture have perfected the art of making things seem the way we like them to seem. And we are smoke and mirrors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can make anything look like what I want it to look like on social media, just as the next person can. So, girl, he might be posting you on social media, but can we not make that barometer of whether he's really into you or not? Because social media means absolutely nothing. Let's be honest.
I don't think I posted my husband on social media until we were engaged. I'm just saying.
Hello.
Literally, we got engaged and people were like, who is this man that didn't put a ring on your finger? My fiance. That's who it is. Just saying.
Amen. Take the social media badge away because that's not a thing.
You could be on social media today and gone tomorrow. I done seen some of my friends scrub whole husbands from their timeline.
You right.
Hello. That's a thing. Right. And I just want us to not rely. Right. But why are we putting so much weight on social media? All of the other indications of this letter say red flag, red flag, red flag, right? Minus the background check. He's not a criminal, whatever. Everything else says red flag. But then somehow we fix all the red flags because you got a picture posted on social media. Girl, get your mind back together. Come back over with us. We are here to support you with open arms. Just come on back over here. It's okay. We love you. You will find love, but I don't think that we don't want this for you. This is not what we want for you.
But I'm going to reiterate, have the conversation because we're just getting the bits and pieces that you've given us. So have the conversation. And if you don't feel comfortable after the conversation, I completely agree. Move on. On to the next one. At this portion of our show, we talk about what we've learned new this week. And so, Asia, if you've learned something new this week, no pressure. You can add and tell us what you've learned new. Only a couple of words. Just say what you learned new this week. And Janine, you want to go first?
Yes. So when I was doing some research, one of the things that I didn't know is there are a bunch of apps, and I'm actually happy that I found them. There are a bunch of apps for plus size dating. So for those people who do not like to have to go through the whole big pool of everybody and are just trying to either find someone who is plus sized or is plus size and trying to find someone that loves them, there are a bunch of dating apps, and I'll post them, but there's some called BBW Cupid and Woo Plus and BBW Admirers and Large Friends. So there are a bunch of dating apps that are specifically for people who are larger. I love it because it's like, why go through all the flim flam when you can go directly to the source?
I like that.
What did you learn new, Nicole?
Okay, so my learn something new was I found 5 ways to promote body positivity. So here are your 5 ways. 1, say positive affirmations to yourself daily. And was that V and Mary Jane did that where she had the Post-it notes on the mirror? I loved that.
It.
I don't think you don't have to do that. You don't have to Post-its, but say something positive and positive affirmation every day to help get your day started. 2, surround yourself with positive people. If you're negative, don't bring that negative energy over here. Surround yourself with positivity instead. Number 3, stop comparing yourself to others. That may mean you may need to take a social media break because social media will have you thinking everybody is amazing and it's just a filter. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Number 4, absorb positive messages. Actually say thank you when you're complimented. Actually believe the person that compliments you and absorb it. And number 5, stop negative self-talk. Stop saying negative things about yourself. Say only positive things about yourself. You got a lot of negativity in the world. You don't need to add to the negativity, which brings us to our motivational moment. And it is by Tracy Ellis Ross. And she said, I need to see my own beauty and continue to be reminded that I am enough, that I am worthy of love without effort, that I am beautiful, that the texture of my hair and the shape of my curves and the size of my lips, the color of my skin, and the feelings that I have are all worthy and okay. Queens, I pray that we all do just that. Until we meet again.
Pray, work, slay.
And show off your melanated excellence.
Bye.
Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations is produced by Nicole Lee Plenty and Janine Brunson Johnson. Executive producer, Ken Johnson. Get the Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversation podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or where you get your podcasts. Please subscribe and rate us. You can follow Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations on IG at Oh, That's Deep, BWC. Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations is a Mean Old Lion Media production.